Hey, what's going on, guys? Now, this review is kind of a thing of, you know, uh, very much a kind of a long-awaited review, if you were to say it. It definitely doesn't, because it's an older action figure. But to be fair, it's not like I do kind of want all the characters in this wave, though. Um, but it is kind of an older review. I do apologize for that. But we'll get into some other stuff once we start the actual review. So we were reviewing the Page Punchers DC Mcfarlane multiverse Aquaman. You got the Page Punchers packaging as it was when this one came out. Standard on the side, you got Aquaman, and it says Aquaman comic. On the side, you got the window, you got Page Punchers. On the top, you got that. On the back, you got a picture of the action figure, which definitely does not exactly look like that one. The gray is a little more darker, and which I kind of prefer, but then the gold's kind of plainer, which I don't prefer. And then he's got he's got bright blonde hair, and you got the picture of the comic there, and it says, including comic in different languages. So here he is. Here is Aquaman. Yes, this will be my Aquaman. Now, the reason for that is because I've been kind of waiting to see what they would do with Aquaman. And I was kind of hoping that the newest version of Aquaman would be really good. But I decided to go with this one just because as long as it looked like Aquaman, that's all I really needed it to be. May not be everyone's cup of tea, but this definitely can work as my Aquaman. I think you guys all know by now, I don't care about, matching up with specific costumes or anything like that. So let's get into his accessories. Now, I'm going to actually get into the trident here first. It's a very neat trident. It's got all this sculpting on it, but I do not want to take it out of his hands because I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it back in because this hand was very tight. And I'm kind of worried about some of the fingers snapping off. Lucky if you just had like super glue or hard, or Gorilla Glue or whatever, you can fix that. But but it's got some really awesome sculpt work, and I like the more pronounced 3 points there. If you see here, I'm trying to you can actually see Aquaman's logo right there, which I guess might be just the Atlantis logo, to be fair. But before we get to the rest of the action figure, we'll get into his accessories. So he's got the standard posing base here. I kind of like this character. I would actually, there's a part of me that's like maybe he should have come with a fight stand because, jumping, but also if he's swimming, if he's swimming, then it works. And then you got the trading card, which has a picture of the comic and is Page Punchers because it's got the black and red. On the back, you got a bio that says, real name Arthur Curry, half human and half Atlantean. Arthur Curry is Aquaman, the king of Atlantis and defender of Earth's vast oceans. As a founding member of the Justice League, he also protects the surface world from the forces of evil. We want equal. We want equal. We want equality, not evil. Protects the surface world from the forces of evil. Aquaman's Atlantean physiology allows him to breathe underwater, swim at incredible speeds, and super strength to withstand the depths of the ocean. Apparently, I can't read. I was doing so well before then, but no, we want equality. I think that should be said. And if someone says something about that in the comments, well, I don't know. I'm not going to harp on about that. Let's get into the review. But equality for all. That's what I believe in. So I'm sure there's going to be some people who do not care that I said that, but I don't care. Here is the comic, though. Now, this is before the Superman Page Punchers wave, which I only have one action figure from because I really only wanted the one. But in the new Superman one, they did it where the comics are actually in order. It's not just the same comic over and over again. It's 1, 2, 3, and 4. But this one, it's all the same one. I still want the rest of the figures in the wave if I can. I do primarily, I don't imagine that I'm going to get Ocean Master because he's not easy to find, but I'm probably going to get that Black Manta and definitely that Aqualad. Um, because that is the version of Aqualad I actually grew up with. He was Calderon. I grew up with him in Young Justice, though I still love Tempest. So, which is what the original Aqualad was called. But both are awesome characters, and I highly recommend them both. I hope we get an action figure of Tempest one day as well. So, I have not read it yet, but basically for the Aquaman one, they just did different covers. I think the first Page Punchers wave, which was like a Black Adam Page Punchers wave, which actually had some cool action figures in it, but I just wasn't interested in them. I think it was just the same one. They didn't even try to do the different covers. They at least did the different covers, so you can at least be like, oh, hey, if I have all four of them, maybe I pick one to keep and then I sell the other ones or something like that. Not saying that they're bad. I mean, if you want to keep them all, that's cool too. But it's up to you. There's some cool covers in here, but I have not read the story yet. But the art's pretty neat. So yeah, I do hope that they continue on with Page Punchers. I was even thinking today about like, man, it'd be really awesome if they did a Green Lantern Page Punchers wave, because then you could actually make a bunch of the other Green Lanterns that they haven't made yet, and that would be really awesome. Like Simone Biaz and Jessica Cruz and Guy Gardner, and yeah, it'd be awesome. So, but anyways, to Aquaman. Off the bat, I will say the only big complaint I have has to do with, well, there's two complaints. Has to do with the shoulder pauldron. The shoulder pauldron looks cool, but as you'll see later, it definitely does hinder the arm. Although, going outwards is not too bad. It's going more, upwards or backwards that it kind of hinders. But also, I think the plastic on the pauldron. Now, the little gauntlets here, I'm not too worried about. I feel like this should have been shinier, or darker, or something. And so that's like my only two complaints. But everything else is pretty awesome. As you can see, they've sculpted all of these little, like, I don't know if you would call them like shells or like arrowheads. I'm not sure exactly. I think there's a name for them, and I'm completely forgetting what they are. But they sculpted all these, and then you've got the necklace here, although mine has a little bit of an orange blemish at the bottom there. And then you've got the typical Aquaman belt, which goes all the way around. You got the Aquaman symbol in the middle there. But also on this pauldron, you can see you got all these different designs. It's kind of medieval looking or ancient Greek looking, which I guess would make sense because, Atlantis is kind of an ancient Greek associated thing. Then you got the gauntlets, which have these flared out pieces, which also has a lot of sculpting on them, on both of them. And then you've got these leg pieces, which are bronze and have a bunch of sculpting on them. And then they did actually have some texturing on the green pants here. And then he's got these boots, which actually have some fins on them, and they got a bunch of sculpted parts. But these little fins make sense, in a comic booky way, of course, in the sense that, he's gliding through water, and that makes sense. This now reminds me, I don't have any characters to compare him to. So let me go grab a couple of them after we do the articulation. So, all right, so the face. I completely forgot about the face. The face is actually done really well. As of course, I'm sure you guys are aware by now. I don't have the best camera in the world. Well, the camera's fine. It's more of like, I don't necessarily have the best setup in the world. In fact, I'm hoping to get a stand. I guess a stand, but one where I can actually have this raised up or looking downwards at the action figure, so I can kind of do like this type of thing, which a lot of other reviews do. Not because I want to copy them, but because it is actually better to get the look. But and it's got a nice wash to the hair. So for articulation, it doesn't really go up that much. It can look down. It can look side to side. And you got a little bit of tilt. You saw that on this side, it only goes up that far. But on this side, it goes up that far. And of course, you've got the usual little dumbbell joint in there. He's got the bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, and the typical Mcfarlane swivel in a hinge. He's got the diaphragm joint and the hip joint that allows him to combine. They allow him to go that far back. Whoa! So what he doesn't make up in head range, you can definitely get him to do that, I guess. And you can go that far forward, and of course they both individually swivel, and you can go side to side. The legs move out that far, move back that far, kick out not that far because I imagine, well, partly because I feel like I literally can't, but partly I imagine it's because they don't want these pieces running into anything. There's actually a little bit of shift, so you can kind of get an upper thigh swivel. He's got double jointed knees. He's got the usual swivel, the up, the down, and a little bit of rocker. And he's got toe articulation. So now, let me get him stood up here. Hopefully. Come on, Arthur. You're the king of the seas. You gotta stand. I mean, where I'm at, I'm nowhere near the sea, but... Okay, there we are. Oh, that's actually a really good pose. Wow. I like that pose a lot. Of course, now that I've changed the pose, that means it's going to be harder to stand. I'm wasting so much of you guys' valuable time. There we go. All right, I'll be right back with some reviews, or with some comparisons. All right, so I've got some comparisons here. They're mostly some Justice League members. So to start out with, can't have the Justice League without the Man of Steel. Well, there's actually been a couple teams that don't have him, but he's, if it's the main Justice League, you need the Man of Steel. Of course. Oh, come on. But hey, you guys can actually see the full... There we go. But you're not here for Superman, you're here for Aquaman. And now you're falling. Why? Why must you fall? Come on. Come on. Thank you. Well, that's the best we're going to get. So there you go. I can't tell if one of them's slightly taller or shorter than the other, but it also could be because they're not, fully like that. He was leaning on him. That's why. Man, are you going to be one of the action figures that I have a trouble standing? I'm trying not to make this super long. Okay, hopefully. Okay, we're going to do Cyborg next. I'm going to make sure I put him off the side first. Oofda. I always had to use a stand with him. Oh, what the heck? Come on. What is it with this review that I can't get these action figures to stand? Come on. This is the one bane of the existence of the action figure collector that likes to actually display things and make them look cool and pose them cool. To basically, you know, have fun. And for some reason, it's really hot in this room. Okay. There, I'm holding him up because he is not going to stand on his own. Well, I say that. Okay, there's cyborg. Yes, this is my main cyborg. We will do Wonder Woman next. I'm kind of getting tired. She's taller than him, I think. So there's Wonder Woman. We'll do a little bit more. I don't know if you necessarily... I think he's a Justice... I guess you could call him a Justice Leaguer. Kind of one of my favorite action figures, actually, from my Mcfarlane collection. Here's Captain Atom. There you go. As best you can get there. And then we'll get another Black Lightning here. Man. They actually look really cool next to each other. Of course, it'd be better if you could actually stand next to each other. But then, of course, you gotta do the big three. So you have to have the Batman that I'm now gonna be putting with my Justice League. Let's see if you can actually stand. I'm actually gonna... Hey, there we go. And then there's Batman. Now, I don't know if it's because of how they're posed or if it's just the ears, but from... Actually, no, Aquaman's bigger. Okay. Alright. So there we go. So yeah. So yeah, this will be my main Aquaman. I finally have, you know, a Aquaman, another member of the Justice League. So that's great. Hopefully I'll get more members of the Justice League. I really want to get that Hal Jordan. There is the Atom that was recently released, and also Green Arrow that was recently released. But I hope we get more female heroes. We don't get a lot of them. We didn't get a lot of them for a little while. We're starting to get more now, but I hope we get like Black Canary or Vixen or... I'm trying to think of other characters. That's not great that I can't think of some other ones. Give me a second here. Zatanna, there we go. Is Zatanna coming out? Zatanna. Or any of the other ones, you know, Jessica Cruz, you know, I mentioned earlier, yeah, so. This video has gone on long enough, but I will show you off a comic that I got recently, which is Superman Lost by Christopher Priest. So, anyways, hope you enjoyed the review. Sorry it took so long to review this figure. But if you liked it, like, share, and subscribe, and let me know who your favorite member of the Justice League is, no matter how obscure they might be, or how obscure of the team they might be. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.